Hey everyone, welcome back to the wood shop. Here we are making still with that chair from my dad, and it's all getting worked on, but now we need to reassemble it. So we need to have some hide glue. So I've got this hide glue here. Hide glue is what people use to make furniture and guitars, anything that you're going to think that you might need to take it apart again in some time in the future, whether it's, tomorrow or next week or maybe 100 years from now. Hide glue is a great thing to use for this purpose. It's really, really tight holding, but it also can be released from itself, where PVA glues and other glues are much more difficult to release. And as you saw in some of the earlier videos, we did release these using heat, and now we're going to put it back together and use this hide glue here. This is from a company called Brooklyn Tooling Craft. They're in Brooklyn, New York, I guess, and this is my first time using it. I've actually never used hide glue. And in my preparation for all of this, I learned that hide glue is basically gelatin from different animals. You can actually take raw hide, boil it for a few hours, and make this. And, it's really kind of interesting. I also learned that, I've actually been working with this kind of product for many, many years in my professional life, doing coffee and food. We've used gelatins to create rafts and different things in the kitchen. So I've actually worked with hide glue, or in the form of gelatin, for decades now. So it's kind of interesting to find that out. And making it is really quite simple. I'm going to show you how to make this really, really easy. Basically, the basic way to start is 2 parts of water to 1 part of the hide glue. And we're going to just mix it up. What you want to do is you want to hydrate the glue, the gelatin, with cold water. And this is what we do in the kitchen too. We would take the sheets of gelatin, hydrate it in ice water to get it to work, and then we would shear it into whatever we're working with. And we're going to follow something very similar to that process here without the shearing. We don't necessarily need to do that because it's also granulated, right? So this is granulated, so much easier to work with. I'm going to presume it's so much easier to work with. This bag has a tear, but I really hate to tear things because you know what? My OCD really kicks in, and I don't like the edges to be uneven. So we want to cut that with a knife or scissors. Now we're just going to use a little jar. This is an old jar from dashi, and dashi is a type of Japanese, that's a little bit wet in there, type of Japanese what do you call it? Stock, right? And this is actually dashi powder, and I did not clean it out too well, or as well as I should have. All right, well, I'm sure that'll be fine. It still has that dashi smell. But it's a nice and small one, and I like the look of it. And now you can use any kind of jar that you have. You can buy a jar, or you can just use, this is an old German mustard jar, and this one has a different kind of cap, but as long as it's tight, it'll be fine. You want to have an airtight cap to it. This is another mustard jar. Gosh, I like mustard jars, it seems like. And then, of course, if you have, if you want to make a bigger quantity, get a bigger jar. So this one we can make Tostitos. Actually, if you did dip your tortilla chips in the hide glue, you can eat it. I don't know what it tastes like, but it's certainly food safe, and you don't have to worry about it. But right now, we're just going to make a small quantity of our hide glue. And like I said, you can make this any way you want, just 1 part of glue to 2 parts of water, and you could do that by eye, but I'm really, again, I kind of be OCD about it, especially from working in kitchens for a long time, so I like to have a scale. So here's our scale. Set to grams. I like grams. Grams is so much easier to think about. Metric is so much easier in so many respects, whether woodworking or in the kitchen. Developing recipes in the kitchen is always done in grams. Okay, so we're just gonna kind of eyeball it. I'm gonna grab a little bit of this. I'm gonna spoon it in there. Okay, maybe a little bit more. Okay, good. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, that should give us a decent amount. So 11 grams of hide glue. Now we're going to add 2 times that water, so we're going to add 22 grams of water. So we're going to bring this to 33 grams total. Now this is just room temperature water. Actually, when we're working in the kitchen, we normally use much greater quantities of water to the gelatin. There you go, 33. That's perfect. Now we're just going to let that hydrate itself for a few minutes. And that doesn't look very visually exciting. And that's pretty much the end of our scale. We don't need the scale after this point. We don't really need to do much else. We're just going to let this hydrate in there. Now, what we're going to do to activate this, we need to heat it. And in order to heat it, you could put it on, your burner and just let it go, but that can be a little bit sketchy and dangerous because you don't want to boil it. If you bring it to a boil, it can deteriorate the quality of the adhesion. So you just want to bring it to about 140 degrees. And in this case, I'm going to use a water bath. So I've got this crock pot, this small crock pot. You can see I got it for $6.50 at the Goodwill. Thank you, Goodwill. Got a little bit of water in here, and we just want to have enough water in the bath to see if you notice the water height here is higher than my glue height, and that's perfectly fine. We want to let that be the case. Let's unplug out. Let's go plug this sucker in. Plug it in, and I'm going to set it to the lowest setting. And the nice thing about these, what do you call it? Crock pots, they're low heat sources anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that in here, let that hydrate. It takes about 10 minutes, and you can see already, we're not even 10 minutes, we've got it. There's no more liquid, right? It's all getting soaked in. It's getting nice and thick. So I'm going to put the cap on because we don't want to lose our moisture, right? You could let it sit there all day, but you don't lose the moisture. I'm also going to add the lid to this, and it's going to heat up, and it's going to do its thing for however long it takes. And what you want to do is like I said, you want to have 140 degrees. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to have one of these infrared digital thermometers. This is one from Ames Instruments. It's a Harbor Freight one, so Harbor Freight, relatively inexpensive. 68.9. How precise is it? It's fairly precise. I've used it for a lot of things, but how precise do you really need it to be? Not that precise. So you don't have to you can spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a really nice quality thermometer, but this will work. And so we're going to put that aside. And now I'm going to let this run and come back when it's actually done. Otherwise, we're just going to sit here for the next 45 minutes doing nothing, and I'm just going to babble on. So be right back in the magic of, internet. There it is, the magic of movie making. So it's been about 40 minutes, so let's check and see how our stuff is doing. Like I said, I have this crock pot set to low, and after 40 minutes, we're getting an interior temperature of 134. Now that's going to mean that the interior of this is going to be a little bit less, right? Because it always is slower. Okay, so here we have a little bit of a problem, I think. Yeah, 121. So we're getting there, but I think this is, after 40 minutes, is it holding off at that? And can you see this? Like, if you can see here, it's looking a little bit granular in there. So I'm thinking that maybe it's not quite hydrated enough. Maybe we should have let it hydrate longer. So that could be an issue. Okay, we're going to put this back in here and let it go for a full hour and see what it does. But if you're enjoying this content, think about subscribing. We'd love to have you as a subscriber, support the channel, and if you're interested in supporting the channel in another way, I do coffee for a living, sprocoffee.com, and that's what I do. Let me show you a little bit of the coffee while we're here. This is a new roast that I've been working on for the... So as you can see, this one's a little bit of roasted coffee that I roasted just the other day. So I make coffee for a living in my normal life. So if you want to support the channel, buy some coffee from the website, use the code OnoTech, and get free shipping on whatever you order. So it's a great way to try our coffees. And if you enjoy the coffees, you get something great to drink in your home, with your family, or in your own workshop. And you get to support the channel as well. So if you're interested in that, please check it out. And now we're going to wait for another 20 minutes or so and then come back in a moment. All right, it's been about an hour, and in the meantime while I've been waiting for this, I have been working on my little fountain pen. This is an Esterbrook 1930s era fountain pen, but look at the nib. It's kind of mucked up. Like, it's totally, I don't know. I lost it for a while, and I just found it earlier today in a box, and I was like, oh man, there it is. And it's totally mucked up. Look, I don't know if you can tell that, but look, it's not even, the flow part for the nib is not even together. They're kind of like skewed. I tried to move it, but I don't really know how to properly adjust it. Anyway, it's been an hour, so let's go and have a look at our setting here. Turn the 128. Really? Huh. How is this doing? Viscosity looks better. 139.8. Okay, that's good. Let's have a look here. You can see the glue down in the bottom. Let's stir it up with this acid brush. Oh, that's got pretty good viscosity. Okay, I think that's just about right. All right, let's put that in there. The one thing about hide glues is you want to keep it warm while working. If it gums up and as it's cooling, it's not able to bond. So you got to keep it warm. And sometimes you can even warm up your, what do you call it? You can even warm up your, warm up something. Warm up your pieces or warm up, I don't know. Warm up, or warm up the wood. That's what you want. So we're going to try this out. And one of the things they say about hide glue is that it doesn't require as much mechanical strength in order for you for it to hold. Like if you take PVA glue and you have to clamp it down, they say you don't really have to clamp it down as hard or for even as long. So we're going to take some of this, brush it on here. This is walnut and this is koa, maybe. Put that on like this. Rub it, and hold it. And they say once you get it worked out, you can let it go. Oh, look at that, pretty good. So you don't need to clamp it. Like I think once you kind of adhere it, you're done. Nothing else to worry about. You can see there's a little bit of squeeze out. We can wipe that off, I think. Yeah. A little bit more there. This is my first time working with hide glue, so if you're just starting out with it, why not do a couple test pieces or just play around with it a little bit. You can feel it getting tacky as it's cooling. All right, now, it still does come apart. Okay, we're going to let that sit there for a while longer. And that should do it. But that's pretty much it. Gelatin glue, hide glue. Now, like I said, you could actually use the gelatin that you buy at the store. I think even Jello gelatin will work. Get the one without, that's not maybe get the flavored one. I don't know. Definitely Knox gelatin will work. They say Knox, though, is kind of expensive you got that big bag for, relatively little money. But there it is. The aroma, they always talk about the aroma because this is hide glue. It does have that rawhide, wet, warm dog smell. So it's not the greatest, but what can you do? It should be quite interesting. I'm looking forward to doing this. Now that we're done with this, and let's say you use it and you have some more left over, you can just let this cool, take it out, let it cool down, right? We'll let that cool down and, put the cap on, let it cool down, and then just kind of leave it. Like in the summertime, you probably want to refrigerate it. Let it cool down before you put it in the refrigerator, right? Same procedures that you'd have for, hot foods going into the refrigerator. Don't do that. Let it cool down first, room temperature, and then put it in the freezer or the refrigerator. And you can actually freeze this, right? This is gelatin, so it has all the properties of gelatin. So whatever you do with Jello, you can kind of do to this. The difference is that, if you let this sit for a long time in the warm environment, it will turn quite nasty smelling, from what I've heard, and you can smell it a little bit. So there it is. Also, another thing, if you want to extend the open time, or extend the open time as well as extend the working time, people talk about putting urea in it. And urine, yes, urine has urea, And everyone's all like, oh, that's gross. But you know what? Your urine is sterile. So you can piss into a cup and add just a little bit to it, and that'll give you a greater working time. Now, that may sound weird, but you know what? People talk about urea, but urea, in the old days when people were just using this, it's not like they're going to some kind of market and buying urea. They're going to piss in that. So there's piss on that old furniture, if you want to think about it that way. Now, another thing that we want to touch base on, there's several different strengths of hide glue. There is 190 something, 251, and like 325. 325 gets very, very brittle. This is 251, and then the 192 is what is is softer and better for luthiers. Luthiers and guitar makers love to use that. This 251 is more for furniture people. And then I don't know who uses the big one, the 325, but that's fairly, they say it's fairly brittle. And you know, a lot of this I'm just telling you because this is what I've been reading about. But I'm looking forward to trying this hide glue. So yeah, there it is. Hide glue, easy to make, super, super fun to play around with. And the nice thing about your brushes, you can just let this, you can wash it out. I'm going to rinse it out and should be perfectly fine to use again and again and again. How is our joint here? Oh, it still comes apart. Guess we got to wait for a long time. I'll find out. We're going to find out later. All right. That's it for this video. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you, like I said, please subscribe. And also, if you've enjoyed this video, here's a couple more videos that I think that you might enjoy. These are going to be in the same vein that we're doing here in this video. Kind of long format, talking, showing you exactly how it's done pretty much in real time. So if you've enjoyed this, please check out these other videos and have a great one.